Good afternoon. Yeah, welcome to another Sunday session with myself, Mark. This is the Sunday 14th of November, Remembrance Sunday. Got my words tangled up there. Um, yeah, it's great to have you back on the mat with myself. It feels like it's been ages. So yeah, really looking forward to go for a nice 45-minute flow today. Really going to be focusing on just calling out the different asanas as opposed to really describing them in detail. I think people are tuning in. D-Man, give you a nod. Hello, Alice. Great to have you back again. Afternoon and evening, I guess. Queen P, welcome once again. So yeah, I'm going to get cracking. I'm going to start on our backs in the Sutta Baddha Konasana. Coming into our breath, really arriving on the mat before going into the flow, before finishing with an extended Shavasana. So let's get cracking. So let's come onto our mats. Sit down in your bums. So Sutta Baddha Konasana, feet together, knees apart. And just rest your back flat on the mat. I invite you to close your eyes here. Place either your hands either side of the body, or maybe place one hand on your belly and the other on your heart. Just feel the openness you're creating in your hips by releasing and letting your knees just flop outwards. Gravity is just gently pulling your legs apart. With one hand on the belly, you're noticing the movement of your breath in tandem with your hand as you breathe in all the way to the belly. You're feeling your belly rise, and likewise your hand moving with that belly. As your hand is moving the belly, your hand is also moving with your breath. So let's carry that intention for the remainder of the practice as we connect our movements to our breathing. Whether you're breathing in through the nose or in through the mouth, whichever breath that we're taking, we'll find that corresponding movement of the hand. So allow yourself to be comfortable here. Allow yourself to relinquish and let go of whatever happened during the week. Set aside what's coming up this week ahead. Just embrace the stillness. Embrace slowing down. We're going to also embrace being comfortable with moments of silence in today's practice. Just see what that does. See whether that stirs up any energy, any emotion. To see if we can sit with that energy. Particularly for those of us who are always moving, running around, or needing to be busy. If your eyes are closed, start to blink them open. On inhale, start to draw the knees up towards center. So your knees are pointing up towards the ceiling. Let's draw them into the chest. I'll just start to massage out across the lower back. Maybe going clockwise and then reverse and take it anti-clockwise. And then come into stillness. I'm going to place our arms either side of the body. On the inhale, I'm going to take the shins, the calves, so that they're parallel with the floor. Or if it's available for you today, let the legs go vertical. The soles of the feet parallel to the ceiling. And on the next breath, whichever variation you're in, start to bring the legs down so they're at a 45-degree angle. We're going to start to come into the core. See if your legs are straight up to the ceiling. They're at 45 degrees. If you've got a bend in the knees, your thighs are at 45 degrees and your knees are at a right angle. Keep holding for another couple of breaths. And then see if you can lengthen out your legs in both variations. And just bring your heels a couple of inches off the floor. And relax them down. Draw the knees back in towards center. Give yourself a hug in. Bring the head up to the knees. Start to rock and roll across the length of the spine. On the next rock up, let's sit up. I'm going to face forward towards the camera. If I come to a cross-legged position, onto the knees. I'm going to come onto my knees here. I'm going to come into some stretches into the shoulders. So it's really good if you've been typing a lot during the week, or if you've got tightness in the shoulders, shoulder impingement. If you've got injuries to your rotator cuff like I have, so this is a good way to warm up the shoulders before we come into the flow. On the inhale, let's take the hands into prayer, just in front of the belly. On the inhale, let's draw the prayer up towards the ceiling. Take the gaze up towards the ceiling. On the exhale, start to bring the arms down. The palms are open up towards the ceiling. Come down towards the side, and then come back into prayer, just in front of the belly. So on the inhale, we're coming up. And on the exhale, we're opening up, facing the palms up towards the ceiling. The arms are coming down either side. We're coming back into center. And again, inhale to come up. Exhale to open. And 3 more. Inhale up. Exhale open. 2 more. Inhale up. Exhale open. Final one. Take the navel to the spine. Exhale, open up. Let the arms hang loose. Just give them a shake. We're going to come into, again, the shoulders taking small circles. So on an inhale, we're going to open up the arms so they're parallel with the floor. The palms are facing down. And we're going to start to just take small circles. Maybe going from front to back. Just tiny, tiny circles. You're going to start to maybe feel some energy coming into your trapezius, your shoulders here. And as you're winding the circles back on each occasion, just bringing the shoulder blades a bit closer together. So you're really working the top of the back. And let's reverse and going in the opposite direction. If you're going to front to back, we're going back to front now, or vice versa. Just tiny, tiny circles, just working into the shoulders. 3, 2, 1, and relax the arms down. On the next inhale, let's take both arms up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, bring that left arm down. Let's take a bend into that right elbow. The hand's coming up and over. And we're dropping the right ear towards the right shoulder blade. Again, you're not forcing the head down. Start to press the head into the hands. We're finding a stretch down the left side of the neck. The left arm can be just loose to the side. Just by making it long, we're just coming a bit deeper into the stretch. Start to walk the hands towards the back diagonal. So we're taking the gaze down towards the right knee, and the hand is now towards the back diagonal, and that's where we're finding the stretch. Somewhere we don't normally pay too much attention to. And release the hand down. Take your gaze back towards the front and to the opposite side. So this time the left arm is going up towards the ceiling. Exhale, take a bend into the elbow. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, drop the left ear towards the left shoulder. Once we're nice and comfortable, start to press the head into the hands to find a stretch down the opposite side. So now find a stretch down the right side of the neck. The right arm is just heavy and loose to the side. Feel free to walk the fingertips out a bit further towards the right, just come a bit deeper into the stretch. Lovely. And start to walk the left hand towards the back diagonal of the head. So now we're taking the gaze down towards the left knee and finding that stretch down the back diagonal of the neck. And release. If you're on your knees, cross-legged, sitting on the block, just place it to one side. Let's turn and face the front of the mat. We're going to come into our tabletop. We're going to find some movement through the spine. So we're going to come into cat and cow. So inhale to take the belly down, the gaze up, tailbone goes high. Exhale, round into the upper back. Stick up, gaze to our navel. And again, inhale to look up. Exhale to round. One more here. Inhale to look up. Draw the shoulder blades together so you can take the gaze up. On the exhale, push the hands into the mat. Find space between the shoulder blades. As you round in the upper back. Let's come back towards neutral. We're going to curl the toes under here. Press the hands into the mat. Going to lift the knees just a couple of inches off the floor. So we're high on the toes. The knees are just a couple of inches off the floor. And then start to rock forwards and back on the toes. So playing with our balance, again, playing with our core. We're now coming a little bit into our quads. Just pressing the toes forward. And come into stillness. Start to lengthen out through the legs. As together we find ourselves coming into our downward facing dog. From here, just start to walk out through the toes. As for the first time, we're coming into the calf muscles. So the gaze is towards the back of the mat here. Just keep walking out through the feet. Let's come high on the toes. And on the exhale, we're energetically drawing our heels down towards the mat. Long in the legs, long in the back. Press the hands into the mat to open up. And roll the shoulder blades away from the ears, the shoulders away from the ears. Then you take a slight bend in the knees. Feel free to do so. Take one inhale in. And exhale, sigh it out. On the next breath, let's start to walk the hands back towards the feet. So opposite way this time. So we're meeting a ragdoll with the back on the mat. Yeah, just sway from side to side again. Just maintain a bend in the knees. See, nice and soft. The head, the torso, the arms, the hands, it's all heavy. There's no gripping. There's no holding here. Just letting the body swing.
Let's come into stillness. Still in a ragdoll. Let's take our right hand and interplace your right hand on the outside of the left shin if it's there for you. And come into a twist. Either the left shin, or if it's available, to grab the underside of the left sole of the foot. Again, grab the left sole of the foot. So it's left shin on left sole of the foot of the right hand. On the next breath, start to lift that left arm up towards the ceiling. Twisting from the lower back here. Maybe take a slight bend in that right knee. Lengthen out through that left leg. And then start to release that left arm back down towards the mat and release the grip. Let's take the opposite side. This time it's the left hand to the outside of the right shin. Or the left hand, see if you can sit underneath the right sole of the foot. On the inhale, rolling up that right arm towards the ceiling. Along in that right leg, maybe taking a bend in that left knee. As we come into the twist here for another 3. Another 2 breaths. 1 more breath. Start to unwind. Bring that right arm back down as we meet in our forward fold. Let's come to halfway lift, hands on the shins, lengthen out through the arms. Drawing that lower belly, exhale, soften to release down. On next inhale, let's wind up ever so slowly, 1 vertebra at a time. The arms are heavy. Rolling the shoulders up, bringing the head up last. Standing at the back of our mat in Tadasana, the palms are facing forwards. The shoulders roll back, the chest is coming through. So standing nice, tall and proud, the feet are hip distance apart. Just close your eyes for a couple of breaths here. Start to blink open the eyes and get ready for some sun salutations. On the inhale, let's float the prayer up towards the ceiling. The arms are long, the gaze goes up towards the hands. On the exhale, strengthen the hips, come all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bring the palms, the hands back down towards the mat. Just walk the hands forward to the front of the mat. Let's meet in our Kumbhakasana, our high plank. Walk forwards onto the toes. Let's all drop onto the knees for the first one. Uncurl the toes, bend into the elbows to come all the way down. Bring the chest to the mat. Keep the hands underneath the shoulder blades. We're going to press the hands into the mat to come up for a cobra. Tucking the elbows in towards the ribs. Shining the chest through. On the exhale, press the hands into the floor. Lift up the hips and start to take the bum down towards the heels as we come to Balasana, our child's pose. The arms are long. Across the mat, the forehead is coming as close as it can towards the floor. Our child's pose is a pose we can come to at any point during the session. On the next breath, let's press back up into our tabletop. Once again, let's curl the toes under. Press our hands into the mat as we come up into our downward facing dog. Deep inhale in and exhale out. On the next breath, let's walk the hands back towards the feet once again as we meet in our forward fold. Let's come straight into our halfway lift, hands on the shins. Deep inhale in, exhale, soften to release, forward fold. Inhale, let's swoop the arms up towards the ceiling, long in the body. On it, so bring the prayer towards the center of the chest. Inhale to go higher, the prayer. Exhale, bend from the hips to come all the way down, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend into the knees, the hands come down, walking the hands forward. Once again, we're meeting in our high plank, our Kumbhakasana. Let's rock forwards onto the toes. On exhale, dropping down onto the knees, and curling the toes, bend into the elbows, come all the way down. Once again, we're pressing up into our cobra. Drawing the elbows in. On the exhale, lifting up through the hips. Walking the hands back as we meet in our balasana once again. Bringing them forward as close as you can towards the mat. Take a deep inhale in. All the way to the belly. Feel the belly pressing against the thighs. Exhale out. On the next breath, let's come up into our tabletop. Curling the toes under, lifting up the knees. The tailbone gets high towards the ceiling. Downward facing dog. Deep inhale in. On exhale, soften in the shoulders in particular. On the next breath, let's walk the hands back towards the feet. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale to come high. Exhale, hands into prayer at the center of the chest. Keep breathing with intention here. Inhale, let's take the prayer up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bend from the hips to come all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend into the knees. Bring the hands down towards the floor. Walk the hands forward. High plank. Inhale, walk forwards. Exhale, drop onto the knees or come straight down to a low plank. I'm going to press up into a cobra. If it's there for you to come to an upward facing dog, lengthen that through the arms. And on the exhale, we're going to curl the toes under this time and come straight into our downward facing dog. Deep breath in and exhale out. And again, inhale and soften to release. On the next breath, let's lift up through that right leg. The right leg is parallel to the floor, pointing towards the back of the room. The feet are curled in towards the face. On the exhale, we're drawing the knee all the way through the body. As the knee goes towards the nose, let's step in that right foot forward at the front of the mat. So keeping high in the back toes, long in that back leg. Inhale, come up into crescent lunge. So you've got a bend in that front knee. The arms are high. We're drawing in through the belly here. So engaging through the core, being sure to protect that lower spine, the lower back. That's a good hold in here for another 2 breaths. One more breath. On the exhale, let's bring the hands back down towards the floor. We're going to jump that left foot to meet the right at the front of the mat as we meet in our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, soften to release. Inhale, let's go high with the arms. Long in the body, take the gaze up in between the hands, looking towards the ceiling. Exhale, hands into prayer at the center of the chest. Inhale, the prayer goes high. Exhale, bend from the hips as you come all the way down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, soften to release. Get ready for chair. Inhale, start to swoop the arms up towards the front diagonal. Dropping the bum down, taking that interior tilt of the pelvis. Engaging for the core, draw navel towards the spine. So you can sit a bit deeper. On the exhale, let's dive forward as you come into forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, place the hands at the front of the mat. This time we're lifting up through that left leg and jumping that left foot all the way back towards the back of the mat. This time we're dropping onto that left knee and curling the left toes as you come into low lunge. So come to a stretch into our left hip flexor. Once we feel grounded, maintaining that bend in that right knee. Start to lift the torso up off that right thigh. Start to take the arms up towards the ceiling. So again, we're long in the torso. We're sitting up nice and tall. We're not collapse into the lower back. Really engage for the core here.
And on each exhale, see if you can bend and soften that right knee a little bit more to come deep into that left hip flexor. Deep breath in. Exhale to soften. And again, inhale in. On the exhale, we're bringing our hands down towards the front of the mat, walking the hands back. We're coming into half split, so we're long in that right leg, coming up high in that right heel, curling the right toes in towards the face. So finding a stretch down our right hamstring here. Start to walk the hands forward maybe. We're nice and long in the neck, so we're not dropping the head down. We're really trying to maintain the integrity of the pose here to really come deep into that right hamstring. Feel as if you're shining your chest forward. You're aiming to take your chest towards your right shin. That's the intention, that's the energy you're putting out there. You can have 2 breaths. You want to find a bit more space in your hamstring. Engage through your right quad. Your quad and your hamstrings will act in opposites. When one is engaged, the other will be relaxed. So engage in the right quad, which is relaxing a bit more, is that right hamstring. Finding a bit more space, come to the bend. Start to walk the hands back. So come back, carve the chest. Bend into that right knee again. Start to walk the hands forward. Just place both hands inside of that right foot. I'm going to swoop the right leg back and find ourselves coming back into our tabletop. Hands into the shoulders once again. We're going to curl both toes under, press our hands into the mat, and once again, we're going to meet in our downward facing dog. Take a deep inhale in and exhale out. Let's take the opposite side. So let's start to lift up through the left leg this time. So the left leg is parallel with the floor, curling the toes in towards the face. Maybe take a gaze right towards our toes. And on the exhale, we're drawing the knee all the way through the body, taking the knee towards the nose, and then stepping that left foot at the front of the mat, or high on the back toes, long in that back leg. Once we feel nice and grounded, let's come up for a high lunge or crescent lunge. So lifting that torso off the left thigh. Just play with your balance here. If you fall out, feel free to come back in. And on the inhale, we're taking the arms up towards the ceiling. For this, if you're pushing your weight into your right heel, so your right heel's pushing towards the back of the room, that helps us to be nice and strong through that right leg. We have another 2 breaths. Another 1 breath. On the exhale, let's bring the hands back down towards the front of the mat. And on that next breath, let's jump that right foot to meet the left at the front as we come into forward fold. On the inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, soften to release. On the inhale, taking the arms up towards the ceiling. Really breathe beyond the fingers here. We're nice and long in the body. Exhale, hands into prayer at the center of the chest. On the inhale, the prayer goes high. Exhale, we're bending from the hips to come all the way down. Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Rolling the shoulders back. Exhale, soften to release. Let's get ready for chair pose once again. Inhale, sweep the arms up towards the front diagonal. Bending the knees as we bring the bum a bit closer towards the floor. Drawing the hips forward. Another 2. Another 1. On the exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come to halfway lift. Exhale, bend into the knees. Let's bring the hands down towards the front of the mat. Let's lift up through that right leg this time.
Jumping the right foot all the way towards the back of the mat. We're dropping down into that right knee and curling the right toes. Coming to low lunge on the opposite side. So once you feel grounded again, through the left sole of the foot, maintain that bend in that left knee. When you're ready, start to lift the torso up off the left thigh. We're taking the arms up towards the ceiling. Get nice and tall through the body here. Inhaling in, and on each exhale, maybe bend that little bit more into that left knee as we're finding the stretch coming through our right hip flexor this time. Inhale to go long, exhale to soften. And one more. Inhale in. And on the next exhale, let's drop the hands down towards the front of the mat. Start to walk the hands back. We're going long in that left leg, coming up onto the left heel. Maybe start to curl the left toes in towards the face as we come into half splits on this side. So just listen to your body here. Maybe start to walk the hands a bit further forward, just until you can find that sweet spot. You need to maintain a bend in that knee, just to protect the knee, or if you've got a bit of issues in your left hamstring. Again, just be mindful, listen to your body here. Again, try not to drop into the head. Try and keep the neck nice and long as you come into that stretch into that left hamstring. Wait for 2 more breaths. Gently start to come out of the pose. Maybe lift up through the chest. Going to bend into that left knee. Take both hands on the inside of the left foot. I'm going to swing that left leg back. And once again, we're going to meet in our tabletop. When we're ready, let's curl the toes under, press our hands into the mat as we lift up through the knees and come into our downward facing dog. Well done, guys. Remember, at any point, you can come to Balasana, your child's pose. I'm going to repeat that again on each side. We're just trying to increase the pace. If you find I'm going too fast or a little bit too slow, just please feel free to get out your pace with what feels right for your body today. Take a deep inhale in and exhale out. Start with the left. Is it left foot first or right foot first? Let's start with the right foot. On the inhale, lift up that right leg. This is power to the floor. Exhale, bring that right foot forward. Crescent lunge. Lift up the torso. Arms go high. For 1 breath. Exhale, bring the hands back down towards the front of the mat. Jump that left foot forward. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale to go high. Exhale, hands into prayer, center of the chest. Inhale to lift up through the prayer. Exhale, bend from the hips to come all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, chair pose for 1 breath. Exhale, dive forward into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend to the knees, lift up through the right foot, step the right foot all the way back towards the back of the mat. We're dropping onto the right knee and curling the right toes. On the inhale, we're lifting up into our low lunge, 1 breath. Exhale, bring the hands towards the front of the mat. Half splits, walking the hands back, coming up onto that left heel. Take a deep inhale in. Exhale, soften, talk the hands forward. Inhale in here. Exhale, start to release out of the pose. Let's place the left hand and the right inside of the left foot. Swing that left foot back as we meet in our tabletop. Curl the toes under, lift up through the knees, downward facing dog. Take a deep inhale in here. Exhale, soften to release. Opposite side. Lifting up through that left leg this time. Exhale, drawing the left leg all the way through as we get ready for our crescent lunge. Inhale. Lifting up through the torso, through the arms. Pressing into the back heel for one breath. Exhale, press the hands or place the hands back at the front of the mat and jumping that right foot forward to meet the left. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, soften to release. Inhale, sweep the arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hands into prayer at the center of the chest. Inhale to go high. Exhale, bend from the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Roll the shoulders back. Exhale, soften to release. Inhale, chair pose. For one breath. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, soften to release. Bend into the knees. Place the hands at the front of the mat. We're lifting up for the left leg this time. Jumping the left foot all the way back. Coming down to the left knee and curling the left toes. Low lunge. Inhale, start to lift the torso up. Sweep the arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, soften into that right knee. As we come into stretching the left hip flexor. Inhale in. Exhale, bring the hands down at the front of the mat. Let's walk the hands back as we lengthen that through that right leg, curling the right toes in towards the face for our half splits. Deep inhale in, exhale out. And next inhale, let's start to bend into that right knee. We're bringing the right hand on the inside of the right foot, swinging that right leg back. Tabletop. Inhale, curl the toes under. Press the hands into the mat, lifting up through the knees as we come into our downward facing dog. Deep inhale in here. Exhale out. And again, inhale in. Exhale to soften. Let's jump or step towards the front of the mat. Let's meet your ragdoll at the front of the mat here. And swing from left to right. Let the arms and the head be heavy. I'm going to turn and face the camera. I'm going to come and play in with our crow pose. Just taking the feet hip distance apart. Start to angle the feet out a little bit here. So the right foot is out towards maybe 2 o'clock, the left foot out towards 10. Taking Charlie Chaplin feet and slowly start to bring the bum down towards the floor. Now the heels may lift up off the floor, which is all good. You might be high in the toes here and your heels are off the floor. Whichever variation you're in, whether your heels are down or up, see if you can place both elbows on the inside of your thighs. And if it's there for you, just place your hands down onto the floor so the palms of the hands are flat on the mat. And just start to rock forwards and back. So we're coming also into the wrists here. And then come into stillness and start to press the elbows out onto the inside of the thighs. And start to open up through the hips. And maybe that's the pose for you today. We're here for another 5 breaths, so feel free to hold that position.
Otherwise, if Malasana is in your practice, feel free to come straight into Malasana. So you're taking your knees to the back of the triceps here, up in towards the armpits. The palms of your hand are flat on the floor. Maybe you're lifting up through one foot. Maybe it's there for you to lift through both feet. You're drawing your elbows in, taking your gaze down, maybe towards the front of your mat. For one more breath, whichever variation you're in, bring the knees down, bringing the knees together, our shins are together, our feet are together. We're going to get ready for our camel pose. So it's a gentle back bend before getting ready for our Shavasana. On the inhale, let's lift the bum off the heels. And imagine we've got a wall in front of the body. So we're not aiming just to drop back or collapse into the lower back. We're using that imaginary wall to first go nice and long in the body. You're keeping your chest, your ribs attached to the wall. Place your left hand just above or just on the sacrum. And your right hand, again, just on the sacrum, just above the butt cheek. Start to draw the elbows together. So we're opening up through the front of the chest. Maybe that's your pose for today. Just there, you start to drop the head back. Just enjoy camel for another 2 breaths. One more breath. On the exhale, start to bring the head back up. Release the shoulders, release the elbows, and bring the bum back down towards the heels. We'll go for one more. So on the last one, again, either take that same variation, hands just on the sacrum or the lower back, drawing the elbows together, engage through your core, or maybe it's there for you to take your left hand towards your left heel and your right hand towards your right heel. Whichever variation you're in, really focus on going up as opposed to just dropping to your lower back. For another 2 breaths, another 1, and start to release out. If there's any clicks or pops, I think both my knees just went there. I'm going to swing the legs forward towards the front of the mat. Sitting on our bums, shake out through the legs. We're going to start to give them a gentle massage by just using your fists or your fingertips just to tap through the muscles, through the quads, your piriformis, maybe into your glutes. Start to take your tap in towards the top of the knees, just underneath the knees to the calves. See if you can bend forward. You might have to bend into the knees to reach into the toes, into the feet, top of the feet, side of the calves. Start to bring your tapping back towards the thighs. Start to lean the body back. Take your arms out to the side. You bring your back towards the floor. Rest the back of the skull flat on the mat. Your feet are flopping out to the side. Your palms are facing the ceiling. I invite you here just to close your eyes. To embrace the darkness. Take a deep inhale in through the nose. And sigh it out through the mouth. And again, inhale in. And on your exhale, release any tension, any anxiety, any stresses, any worries. Let it go. And come into Shavasana. Start to find movement in your fingertips, in your toes. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. Just draw the knees into your chest for one final hug in. And walk up into a seated position. I'm going to come onto a block and turn and face the camera. Just place your hands in a comfortable position here, maybe in your laps. Sit up nice and tall for the body. Maybe close the eyes for one final inhale. Gently release. All done. Thank you very much for sharing your time and practicing with one another from afar, wherever you might be tuning in from. I'm wishing you an amazing week ahead, nothing but positivity, and I look forward to being back on the mat with you next week. Thank you once again. Done and dusted, maybe a couple minutes over. Apologies. But yeah, I am going to go and eat. I'm actually starving. Lovely to see you as well, Naomi. Thank you, Alice. Look forward to chatting later this week. But yeah, everyone have a great Sunday, what's left of it. Look after yourselves and one another. And yeah, just stay as positive as you can. 6 weeks till end of the year. So let's make each day count. Take care. God bless. And I'll see you in the future. Nice one, D-man. Take care, guys.